Right, hello, Avison Eagles. Mr. Gepke here to bring you number 6 of the read-along series that I've been doing during the school closure with you. Again, I know that typically you see me for PE, but I really wanted to interact with you all during the closure, so that's why we've been doing the read-alongs. Today, for read-along number 6, we have Who Would Win, the Polar Bear or the Grizzly Bear? Looks pretty interesting. I don't know. They both seem like pretty tough customers. Let's see what shakes out here in this tale of wilderness wilderness supremacy. All right, who would win, the polar bear versus the grizzly bear? I'm gonna guess before we get started. I'm gonna say the grizzly bear, but we'll see. Fortunately, I've never had to defend myself from either of them. So we'll see what the author of this book thinks would happen. During the Arctic winter, polar bears and grizzly bears live far away from each other. But during the summer months, while looking for food, polar bears and grizzly bears sometimes end up in the same location. What would happen if they met each other? What would happen if they had a fight? Who would win? Meet the polar bear. Polar bears are considered sea mammals. They spend most of their time on the frozen sea. They prefer to live near the edge of the ice pack. They are the largest of all bears. That's something I didn't know. I actually thought the grizzly bear was the largest of bears. But, alright, meet the grizzly bear. Grizzly bears are mammals that live on land. You can tell grizzlies by the huge hump at their shoulders. This is a muscle they use for digging. Sorry, black bear, you are not in this book because you are not as big and ferocious as grizzlies or polar bears. Forget about it, giant panda. You are a plant eater and are no match for the polar bear or grizzly bear. Polar bears have snow white fur. Their color allows them to blend in with their environment, such as snow, slush, and ice. Grizzly bears come in 4 different colors: dark brown, brown, reddish brown, and blonde. Did you know that grizzly bears are also called silver tips? Grizzly bears will try to blend in with their environment, such as fallen leaves, dirt, rocks, and trees. 10 feet tall. That's how tall polar bears can get. They are the largest predatory land animals. Polar bears can grow to be 10 feet tall. Here's a kindergartner next to a polar bear. Kind of a neat picture there. We've got the polar bear along with the little, appears to be Eskimo child in comparison. A grizzly bear can stand 8 feet tall. They tower over you. And here we have the picture of the grizzly bear next to, hard to point, this Eskimo. A polar bear paw is larger than this book. On this page, you can see a grizzly track. A track is a footprint. Their front claws can be 4 inches long. Okay, at the top there you see the paws, the front paw and back paw prints for grizzly bears. Polar bears are excellent swimmers. They can swim further than 50 miles in one stretch. Polar bears mostly eat meat from the ocean, such as walrus, seals, sea lions, and fish. Seals are their favorite food. Grizzly bears are good swimmers, but they prefer standing in a river to catch fish. If a grizzly stands in the right spot, a migrating salmon might jump right into its mouth. Open wide, polar bears have carnivore teeth, canine teeth in the front, and huge molars in the back. Grizzly bears have teeth that are similar to a polar bear's. Grizzlies have such good sense of smell that they can detect a dead animal 10 miles away. A polar bear can run 25 miles per hour. That is faster than a human can run. Polar bears can run down caribou. So who would win if they had a fight? The polar bear or the grizzly? Grizzly bears look slow, but don't be fooled. Grizzly bears can easily outrun a human. They are fast. Bear skeletons are somewhat similar to a human's. They have 4 limbs, 5 fingers, 5 toes, a backbone, ribs, head, neck, and hips. Polar bears are solitary animals. They rarely fight each other, and mostly they stay away from each other. Grizzly bears are also solitary animals, but groups of grizzlies sometimes fish together during a salmon migration. Male polar bears do not hibernate. They spend all winter looking for food. They might build a snow cave to sleep away an unusually bad snowstorm. Female polar bears build a maternity den, usually in the snow and ice, to spend the winter and take care of their cubs. This conserves the mom's energy. Just before winter, grizzlies eat as much as they can to fatten up for the long sleep. Grizzly bears have a deep winter sleep, but it is not true hibernation. A grizzly can wake up and suddenly attack you. In the springtime, grizzlies are hungry. Watch out! I think I'm kind of like a grizzly bear. I take a good long nap and then I'm hungry. Now we have a few funny polar bear and grizzly stories. A U.S. Navy nuclear sub surfaced in the Arctic ice only to find a few polar bears snooping around. Sometimes polar bears take naps in the funniest positions. They will literally lay down on a chunk of ice and treat it like a pillow. A famous nature photographer waited for days to get a good polar bear picture. Then one day, he was eating lunch in his pickup truck, only to his surprise to see a giant polar bear in his rearview mirror. Now to the grizzly funny stories. An Alaskan man came home to find a grizzly bear relaxing in his jacuzzi one time. A sailor anchored in a harbor in Alaska was awakened by a noise. He found a grizzly walking around his yacht. Scared out of his wits, he pushed the grizzly off with an oar. Using a cheeseburger, a tourist lured a grizzly bear into his car. The foolish man wanted to get a nice picture of the bear sitting with his wife. The woman screamed, and the confused bear ran away. Boy, they were lucky. That bear could have really hurt him. It is summer. The polar bear steps off the ice onto a beach. A grizzly bear comes out of the woods. They see each other. They can smell each other. Both bears stand to get a better look. Then it happens. The grizzly charges. The polar bear growls. Both bears show their teeth. The polar bear crouches down, puts his paws up, ready for battle. Running at full speed, the grizzly knocks over the polar bear. The polar bear gets up, and they tangle up. Whap! He smacks the grizzly. They claw, they scratch. It's one nasty fight. They wrestle, each trying to get an advantage. Rolling around, both bears get dirty from the sand and the mud. The grizzly is relentless. He keeps fighting. Suddenly, the polar bear sees and realizes there's no point in fighting anymore. There's no reason to fight with another bear. There's plenty of space and plenty of food for all of them. The polar bear walks away. The grizzly, sore and tired, realizes that fighting with the polar bear was not the right answer. He realizes that the two bears are so similar, they should all get along. The end. So, unlike the first Who Would Win book, we didn't get a definite winner. We got a couple of bears realizing that fighting is not the answer, and that is a wonderful moral of the story to take away from this, all right? So there you have it, kids. Kind of a trick question this week on who would win. Looks like neither of them won, which is great because it's better to get along than it is to fight. You all have a great week. School is winding down, and I look forward to possibly running into you when you come pick up your stuff. But until then, we will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.